What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back for career mode. I'm not too sure if you guys are expecting this or not, but I think due to the overwhelming support on the last episode, episode number 56, we are going to continue the series. We're at least going to finish off this season and see how much further we can take the McLaren. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the previous episode, I recommend you go check that out before you get spoiled as to what happens. So, hopefully you guys have clicked off by now. But yes, we won the championship in the previous episode, and now it's a bit of a formality. We're just taking it through to the end of the season. I thought I'd change out my helmet as well because I haven't really done that in the 2 or 3 seasons so far. I haven't changed the colors. I've just kind of inverted them across the 3 different color plane. But anyway, we head off to the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got a major tyre wear upgrade that we did a couple of episodes ago. That's now fitted to the car. And we also did a durability upgrade to the ICE. And there it is, a 30% improvement to the engine wear. That is absolutely massive. McLaren as a team will not be struggling for that anymore. And the research and development as well this season has been absolutely incredible. We went from being just above Haas in the performance index to now being just shy of Red Bull, overtaking pretty much all the midfield teams, and now we are well and truly a front-running team, mixing it with the best here in Formula 1. So, yeah, like, the goal of this career mode was to bring McLaren back to its glory days. I feel like we've done that now. McLaren is now, in my hands, a top team. We're capable of winning races, winning championships, getting podiums almost at will. But for Fernando, that is not the case. So, in an ideal situation, I would have liked to have gone on for another half season to continue the development, just to give Fernando a little bit more of a buffer. Because, well, he'd be fine if he was getting more straight line speed, or like an equivalent straight line speed to what I was getting. If he was getting that, he would be running away with his championship. That's entirely what Fernando would need, and he'd be outclassing me. He really would be if he was, on level footing with me in a straight line. But, yeah, we'll see what we can do. There's going to be a big splurge of resource points at the end of the season, where hopefully we can spend those on the car and make the car even better before I depart for a new team, potentially for next season. So, yeah, I really want to see McLaren as the best team for Season 4, and I want to chase them down in, whether it be another top team or a team at the top of the midfield. That's kind of where I'm after at the moment. But here we are in qualifying. I've been rambling for 3 minutes now, and I haven't actually talked about, the weekend at hand, in the moment right now. This is our final lap in qualifying. We're going to improve by 3/10. Track evolution is a big part of that, and making some setup changes as well. The car was losing a little bit of time through the middle sector. I increased the front downforce by a little bit, but in essence, I don't think I increased the downforce enough. We were still losing quite a bit of time in that middle sector, like 6/10 through there, so not the greatest. I always, see this every time. I go back to edit a video. I see, my driving isn't that great, or, we could have improved here or there in the setup, and I just didn't really realize it at the time. I really need to run more downforce than what I would normally in a online kind of setup, an equal cars kind of setup, because, yeah, we just lose so much, even still now, in the middle sector. We were purple in Sector 3, so, yeah, we had, time to burn in that kind of respect. But that's qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're going to head off to the race now, where hopefully we can potentially get a race win. We're in a pretty good position, so let's see what we can do.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have a McLaren, Ricciardo, Kimi Raikkonen, and Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Grosjean, and Fernando Alonso.
I don't want to.
And Ocon, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Pascal Wehrlein, and Marcus Ericsson. Palmer and Carlos Sainz starts from the back of the grid.
Okay, we've already won the championship, so relax and enjoy this race.
How many times does Fernando Alonso have to get a good grid position before he actually gets to start there? Welcome, guys, to the Brazilian Grand Prix. I still can't believe that. Mexico, he got an absolutely fantastic position, and today as well, he's backed that up with another good quality position, and he gets sent back down the order. This is so frustrating because at this point, I kind of want to see Fernando do well. I want to see if I can get him a podium, or dare I say it, maybe even a race win. But that is entirely not going to be possible today. He's in 10th place, going to be down in the pack, and he's only going to go backwards from there. He's going to get his ears boxed. But yeah, for us, we're going to see if we can win this race. Ultimately, from here, we're just looking to have some fun, have some good battles, and see this championship out on a good note. But here we go, ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 5 red lights for the penultimate race of 2017, and we are underway. Amazing start versus the leaders. We get boxed in as we head into turn 1. Really squeezed between the two leaders there. Had to back out of it, and Hamilton looks like he might take the early advantage here on Sebastian Vettel if he can get the better run through turn 3 and on the run into turn 4. He does have the Mercedes OP straight line speed, and he makes full use of that, moving into the lead of this Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel settling into 2nd place. Daniel Ricciardo right behind me as well. Looks like he's actually a long way back from me there, so not a great start for those behind, and we can just look to extend that lead if we can. But in the slipstream of Sebastian Vettel, look at this straight line speed. We were fast in qualifying in the 3rd sector, and it's really coming through in the race now. Overtaking is going to be very, very easy today, so long as we can stay with the AI through the middle sector like we've done just there on Sebastian Vettel. Look at this, right to the outside. Vettel has nothing in comparison to us, unless he's running at standard revs, which I don't believe he was this early in the race. I mean, it's entirely possible, but the amount of straight line speed there we had was absolutely ridiculous. We had a slight little moment there through the middle sector. Vettel had a little look up the inside, but really couldn't take that any further, and we hold on to P2 in this Grand Prix. So from here, we've got to chase down Hamilton. The gap is 2 seconds from what it looks like, and we're going to hopefully close him in if we can. So yeah, I think I could have done a little bit better with the setup. Like I said, in qualifying, I could have gone with more downforce to make the car a little bit more balanced.
Hamilton is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 1.8 seconds. You're dropping back by around 0.2 each lap.
0.2. It's not great. You don't want to be losing time early on in the race, but we are suffering again with a little bit of understeer early on. I would like to tune that out if I can, but I feel like the car was actually a little bit unstable in this opening stint. The rear end was sliding around a little bit, so I think we are actually going to lower the front downforce, believe it or not. I was complaining about a lack of downforce, and what are we doing? We're taking downforce off. I know, logic, right? But when I was driving this at the time, the car was a bit too unstable. I was running a bit too much front wing. When I say I need more downforce to be more competitive, I actually need more rear wing, just for greater cornering speed. You'd be surprised at how important the rear wing is on F1 2017. If you've got a stable rear end, it gives you so much more confidence to push into the corners, and you can run more ballast, which is, again, another thing that really aids in making your car fast. But we rejoin in heavy traffic here, both the Red Bulls and the Toro Rosso. We're going to go up the inside of Ricciardo. We really can't afford to mess around here, because we're trying to... Ricciardo, what was that? That was too close. I'm surprised we don't have any damage from that, but we're going to go to the outside. We are Max Verstappen through turn 1. Didn't really work out there. I want to cut through this field because... Jeff, shut up.
0.4 seconds.
Please.
Wear rates are lower than we expected.
Thank you. Okay, I want to cut through the field because we're trying to undercut Hamilton, and we're in a massive battle with him. He stayed out still in this Grand Prix. So, yeah, the amount of pushing that we do now, and whatever time we make up now will ultimately help us later on down the road. But if we're encountering and battling traffic like this, then we're not making any gains on Hamilton, and if he rejoins in front of us when he eventually makes his first stop, then it's going to be game over for us in terms of winning this race. But that was a nice move around the outside of Verstappen there. Back into effective P2. Sebastian Vettel makes his pit stop, and we only just emerge in front of him. So with that, I feel like we're not going to be able to challenge Hamilton, as he's actually rejoined after his first pit stop now. His gap is even bigger now. It's 5, maybe even 6 seconds. So that plan has really failed for us, and now we're possibly doomed to second in this Grand Prix, unless there's a safety car later on, or Hamilton is on he actually is on a weird strategy. He's on the super soft tyres, so he's going to have to stop again, maybe even another time after that, because the super soft tyres can't really go long into the race, and he might be stopping in a lap or two's time. So that could put him on a 3-stop, and that might be our only chance of winning this race if he has to do the additional stop. But here goes Sebastian Vettel round the outside, through the middle sector. The AI, in particular the Ferrari, has been really strong through this sector of the Grand Prix, and he gets the move done. They just ran wide through that hairpin, and that was all she wrote. But as long as we can stay close to Vettel, we should be able to get him back on the straight. This is going to be a bittersweet moment for him, getting the position, and now in rich revs. And a lower front wing now, we're going to be even faster on the straights than what we were in the first stint. So here we go. Pretty much like taking candy from a baby. This Honda power is absolutely OP, but it's not done quite yet as Vettel goes around the outside. He breaks later than me through the racing line, and he actually gets the spot back. Really good job there from Sebastian. He put his car in the exact perfect place he needed to, and he holds onto the position. Vettel goes defensive again. We're going to go to the inside to overtake him up the inside into turn 4. There's contact. And we are out of this Brazilian Grand Prix. Here's the replay. I'm just shell-shocked. I think this is my fault. I think this is entirely my fault. What's happened here is I moved over in the braking zone. See, I thought my straight lines, I thought I had enough speed to cover him. I was moving over into the braking zone to make the next left-hander a little bit easier to carry on. Like, that's what you do when you overtake someone in a straight line. You move back to the racing line so you can carry on. But I just misread how close Vettel was, and yeah, this is entirely on me. Like, I know there are some people in the comments who say, oh, I blame other people, blah blah blah, but that is entirely my fault this time. But yeah, we've lost the front wing, a lot of time to lose, like, as well, and it's going to be a bit of a recovery drive from here to get back inside the points. It may well be another 2 stops from here, unless we can fit on the mediums. We'll have to wait and see. We definitely need a safety car now to get back in the game, but this is not the Grand Prix that I wanted after winning the championship. This is a massive fall from grace from where we were in the Mexican Grand Prix. Just completely in control at the front of the field. Today, we made a wrong strategy call with the setup, and we find ourselves in a bit of trouble. So let's see what we can do. It's only halfway through the race as well, so there is plenty of time to make this up. But our backs are well and truly up against the wall here. So at least for you guys now, you got to see a lot of overtaking. P16, and there's a fairly sizable train in front of us to overtake. So first up, first cab off the ranks is Nico Hülkenberg. We got the inside into the left-hander. That was really close between the two of us. That reminds me of like Schumacher, Hamilton, I think it was, going through Brazil turn 1. Back in, no, it wasn't Hamilton, was it? Because it was like 2006. Never mind. Turn 4, outside, job done. P15, and Ricciardo pits as well for his final stop and gives us P14. So next up we have Palmer. That is Alonso getting squeezed out by one of the Toro Rossos, and he's not having a great day now. Watch this. Alonso's lack of straight line speed is absolutely ridiculous. We close him in like he's a GP2 car. And, yeah, it's just embarrassing when we come up against Fernando in a race situation just to see how slow he is sometimes. It is absolutely outrageous. But we go around the outside, that's P13. Alonso doesn't really stick it in there, doesn't fight the issue. Team radio.
That's Fernando behind.
Actually, no, never mind. I remember what that team radio was about. I was asking to see if there was any damage, but he never said anything, so no point displaying that. We got past Palmer in the process, and now we are into... well inside the top 10 now, as there's a safety car. A few people have stopped as well, and it is 8th place. So yeah, 24 laps into this Grand Prix, we finally get a safety car period, and I thought, let's take this opportunity to fit on the soft compound tyres and see this through to the end. I think we were only going to lose a few positions by taking the faster compound, and we'll see what we can do. I don't know as well if the mediums would have been a great tyre to take to the end, because the pace on those was not great, and I don't even know if we would have made it to the end on tyres. We might have, but it's not as fun, or it's not as exciting as taking the faster compound that is better for overtaking. So we'll see now as we get ready to rejoin in this race. 9 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix, and we're going to see if we can get inside the top 5. So here we go. Fernando Alonso, that isn't really an overtake, that's just charity, really. It's like a LMP1 car overtaking a GT3 car or something like that. But anyway, it is P12 now as we overtake another couple cars into the braking zone of turn 1. A lot of the AI taking it very cautiously through there, not wanting to lose their front wings. That's completely understandable, but for us, our mindset is completely just go all guns blazing. We've won the championship. There are no consequences for us. We've seen that already in the way that I was driving up against Sebastian Vettel. We're really just racing for pride here, so it's coming down to like an overtake per corner at this stage. The pace right now is absolutely insane. A fresh set of soft compound tyres. We've got a lot of fuel to burn as well, and we're going to see how far up the order we can get. This is Hulkenberg once again up the inside. Last time it was a bit of a struggle to overtake him, but this time much easier as there's a Sauber getting in the way. We go for the gap, and that is P7 for the taking. I think I was really close as well with Nico Hulkenberg. He was on my outside, and I think he was squeezed up onto the ripple strip. You can see there was actually a little bit of contact as well with my right rear tyre, and you'll see from Hulkenberg's on board how tight this was. I knew he was on my outside, but I had to go for the gap here, because if I didn't, I would have got held up behind that Sauber, and that would have been disaster for our race and trying to get back inside the top 5. I think we might need to reevaluate our expectations for this race, as that's now P6. We could get on the podium now at this rate. We are making huge ground up on the leaders. That is Palmer running into the side of us. Cheers. Thank you very much for that. Although I can't be the judge of driving standards today after my efforts. But anyway, we have 6 laps to go. P5 now. I think a couple of people have actually stopped as well. I'm not too sure who that was. But next up is Grosjean in the Haas, in a car that was like similar pace to me at the start of this season, or like late last season. Bit of a backmarker. He finds himself in the lofty heights of P5 now, so he'll definitely appreciate the points. But next up, I think we have one of the Red Bulls. I'm just checking through the order just to see who is leading. It looks like it's Valtteri Bottas with one of the Force Indias in second, Sergio Perez. So what has happened to Vettel? What has happened to Raikkonen and also Hamilton? We'll flick back down the order and see where they are. They have lost a whole bunch of positions. They must have stopped. That is really weird. So yeah, I don't really understand that. They must have stopped after the safety car period. If you need to make another stop, you know, you'd think that you'd make it during, like, when the safety car came out. You're throwing away a pit stop. But anyway, 3 positions for us, am I right? But anyway, we carry on to the next lap. This is Valtteri Bottas getting back in front of Sergio Perez. It's really tight between the two of them. So Sergio must have overtaken him on the previous lap, thanks to straight line speed. That Force India really is a demon in a straight line, but possibly not as fast as us? I'm not entirely sure. It might be really even, actually. We'll wait and see if we can get close to him. But this is Max Verstappen. See you later, pal. Nice medium tyres. That is P3 for the taking. We're now on the podium with an absolutely huge lockup. And yeah, that's pretty solid progress made in what has been only 4 or 5 laps after the safety car period. I can't believe how much ground we've made. It definitely helps that, you know, the ultimate front runners, Hamilton, Raikkonen and Vettel, all made their stops, and it's made our comeback through the field look a lot nicer, shall we say. But we're on the penultimate lap now. We're trying to chase down Sergio Perez. His pace has been really solid. His straight line speed is very, very good. We go to the inside there, have a little fake up the inside to see if we can make something happen. Nothing really transpired there, and we're going to have to get this move done maybe later on in the lap. It doesn't look like we're close enough to get close to Sergio. We're in the slipstream, rich revs. We're using all the engine performance that we have left now. Fuel is not a factor. If anything, it might be the temperatures of the engine. We had something very similar in Malaysia when I was trying to chase down Esteban Ocon. I didn't have the pace to get him that day, I don't believe. Let's see if we can get Sergio up the inside into the next right-hander. It's a really late lunge. Huge lockup as well on the right-hand front. And it is side-by-side between the two of us. I'm not too sure who has the better aero between the two of us. And no, it's actually us. We know that. We're the best aero car in the field. So that was a silly question. But side-by-side through to the penultimate corner. I'm losing my voice at this stage. We go around the outside into P2. We're not going to get the win today, but this is going to be a really exciting finish between the two of us. Sergio still there on the inside, and it's going to be a drag race to the line to see who's going to get second place in this Brazilian Grand Prix. I think Sergio might have hesitated, and that's all we need. Second place, 18 points. What a finish.
Great work. Well done. We're really happy with the podium here.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
I will definitely take that. That was a really good race, by the way. Probably one of the better ones in terms of just racing and overtakes. All made possible by the crash that I had halfway through the Grand Prix with Sebastian Vettel. So, I mean, it was a shocking move that put me in a lot of trouble. The safety car got me out of that trouble, and we put on the soft compound tyres and we just let it rip for the final, I don't know, 10 laps of that Grand Prix into second place, just pipping Sergio Perez to the line, and that is 18 points. Congrats to, not Sergio, well, congrats to Sergio and the Force India getting third place, but huge congrats to Valtteri Bottas for winning the Grand Prix by 4.3 seconds. I don't know what was going on with the leaders there. Hamilton, Vettel and Raikkonen. Why did they feel the need to stop after the safety car? You could have held all that track position if you would have stopped just a few laps earlier. But I'm not going to complain. That definitely aided us in getting onto the podium today. I didn't even know where they finished. I'll have to have a look. I think some of them might have struggled to get points. I'm not entirely sure, but speaking of points, we have almost 800 of those, 804 resource points, and we could potentially do some downforce stuff. We could do like a minor downforce upgrade and possibly have it on the car in time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but I'm not too sure if I want to do that. I feel like there's a really strong chance that the upgrade will fail, simply because we've done so many upgrades now and they've all succeeded. I feel like we're due a bad upgrade. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wait till Abu Dhabi and then apply it to the car, because we know there's a 100% success rate of upgrades going on the car, and I want to make this McLaren as fast as I can for Season 4. So I want to give them the best possible chance of, you know, getting all the upgrades and not screwing them around. I want to make like a really formidable opponent in McLaren Honda for Season 4. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully we can spend the end of season budget as well. If we can, then I'll do both of the ultimate downforce upgrades for the car. Or I might even do a weight reduction upgrade actually, and then the two ultimate upgrades. We'll see. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. See plenty more F1 2017 videos. The next race will be Abu Dhabi, the season finale of Season 3, and our last race for McLaren. It's a bit sad, actually. Let's hopefully go out on a good note. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, I'll see you next time.